Oh yeah, 다 드린 무슨 뭐 취해야 돼. 딱 가서 기운도 취해야 돼. 다 드린 람선나서게. 시간이만 줘이. 아니 넘어서 람선나서게. 배셔디마 시기시기. 티시자친 로이스.
So today we're going to continue talking about the Dharma, and today I will begin talking about the three principal aspects of the path. So you have the texts in your group. Please have a look at.
Yeah. 다 담보 람지조 넘버스ms. 람지조 넘버스 사티다. 지시지바데 올레레기 오르지. 다 단다치드 참말라. 아니 민중 샹주지셈 양답이 따왔음라 세계요레스 다디 딱 가생원지 해딩이게 고아초라 덴드미니 아니 타바쇼라만 도야라 딸람 조디 디섬디 차기요레스 니 참말라 아니 람지 조 남바섬 슬라기요레스.
So first, in the title, it says three principal aspects. And so then those three principal aspects of the path, this is renunciation, the mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta, and the correct view. So yesterday I spoke about not being attached to samsara, moving away from samsara, and going onto the side of liberation. So those three together, they help us do that, and this is why we call them the three principal aspects of the path.
답변나 가상은 특바스 히어와 니투지 특바 란제지 특바 티친지 특바스 특바스 히마스 다 특바 지젤라 람가가 가서 히어와스 람가드 땡도에스.
So yesterday I spoke about the three vehicles, so the hearer vehicle, the solitary realizer vehicle, and the great vehicle, and that each vehicle has its own 5 paths. And do you remember what those 5 paths are?
Nandash, you tell me.
Path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of sin, meditation, nomadani.
Okay, good. Rita, you know? Same. Okay, part of.
But I don't believe in that.
Don't believe? Why?
I don't know. I think it's not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Why? Okay. 제장게 다 특별히라 라무가 하시기도. 다더니 니티지 테바 다 란제지 테바니디 카실라랑 티미지 테바슬라야와. 티미지 테바라 롱이 제미나 아니 인중그 삼바다 양답이 따와니 대니디 냠슬래너와 인중그 삼바다 양답이 따와니 냠슬래니 아니 니티 조랑 조랑 토랑 콜랑 몰라 도고 요레스.
Yes, so those are each vehicle has those 5 paths. So yesterday I spoke about the hero vehicle and the solitary realizer vehicle. Those two together, we call them foundational vehicle. And practitioners of that vehicle, what they practice is renunciation and the correct view.
다 티바치모 랑랑도 마하야나 파트런동이 지미나 다데 인종 향주지 셈이 양답이 따왔은가냐네 제고레스.
And then the practitioners of the great vehicle, of the Mahayana vehicle, they practice the 3: renunciation, the mind of enlightenment, and the correct view.
예, 다데 샤츠와데 올히 주체. 다데네 지슬라만나 차차로서네. 다데 담보 쳐바죠 바스라겨. 단 쳐바죠 바세 다 베샤좀 베샤마 쳐와케 점디 점발라 티칸라 쳐바죠 바다 점바 담자와사지 니 용교레스트리 점발라 담보티 쳐바죠 바사 자기요레스.
So I will later in the text there comes a detailed explanation of those three principal aspects. So now starting with the first stanza, which reads homage to the precious noble masters. So this is homage, paying homage to the gurus. In the text, we usually find first the homage and then promise to compose. So now we begin with the homage.
다 배샤데 하거라 배샤데 썸바 본로데 라마송카바 차디오레스 티니 썸바 라마송카바게 아니 라무리 체모 라무리 딩보 디알라 라무리 디던싱로 근데 라무리 멤버 요레스 다 티나니 다 뉴휴 마디 향이데 람선난선 차기 요레스 티니 썸발라 단다데 쳬바 중에기 데 담보 데 썸바포 라마송카바 차디오레스 쳬바 중케 쳬바
Yes.
yeah
Mhm. So the author of the text is Lama Tsongkhapa, the Tanka here. So Tsongkhapa, Lama Tsongkhapa, Je Tsongkhapa, he composed different types of Lamrim texts, great stages to the path of enlightenment. So he composed the great stages on the path, the middle, and then also the concise. And then this three principal aspects is the most concise Lamrim text he composed. So it's Lama Je Tsongkhapa here who's paying homage here.
단 쳬바 제사이 율도 쓰잖아 제자 라마나나 샤차로 왔었잖아 다 코란키 라마 다 조응서 드니 차겨래 다 단당문선 잠비양게 건르치여와 수수 라마다 잠비양 뭐 이미노 체네 아니 텔라 차사와서로 차디요래 진짜말라 라마 송가바게 야 라마 조노 체네 주선 잠비양 다 다나게 다 벽에 뭔지 라마 빼만불라 안에 공개 순주 휴 근데 요레스 더 참말라 안에 차차게 예수 요레스.
So then the objects of the homage, so these are, as the text reads, noble masters, lamas. So this is talking about teachers of Je Tsongkhapa. So his principal teacher is considered to be Arya Manjushri. So he's paying homage to Arya Manjushri, and also to his main teachers. So this verse is summarizing all of those.
다 간초 그게 다 냠레징이 되나 다 소소소소게 라마 어때서나 차사와사데 지난데기요레스.
So as for us, each of us being a practitioner, when we practice, then we pay homage to our own teachers, own lamas.
예, 다 된다지. 다 되거히 마마효히야 된다지. 다 되니 자위 소르 건지 님비다 자세 담아는 진 하베라 가데 탄도는 진 용어데 제단유진 다게 지시바샤서 다데 좀바 담자와스라 그랬더니 정위에서는 켈렌 단자치비기 용자요레스.
So then, starting with the first verse which I will read the English translation. The very essence of all the Buddha's teachings, the path that is praised by the noble bodhisattvas, and the entrance for all fortunate ones desiring liberation, to the best of my ability, I shall now set forth. So this entire verse, it's a promise to compose. So basically saying that I will write this text.
다된데시 쇼이나 자위 소르 건지 님비테 세자말라 다디카스 자와사 산지라 거네. 아니 산지 샤자 타바게다 취주 풍부 제치기 동선에 다 취배 만부터리 송요레스. 다 디소게 게 소르 디스 사마게 나라 님본도 츠두 디나기 님본도 츠두 야바테 다데 올라 히야게 다데 올란다 소레 탐지 님부천 되바 자세 담바나 앞에 람 가딘 탄데나 용어 다데 조데 갈시고르세나 아니 년중 향주 지스미 양답이 따와 som디시기오레스 데 네게 강터도 아니 치 뉴뉴지 나로라 아니 히에트와게 메시지기 소요레스.
So what the first line in this verse is talking about, and Tibetan is actually using the word the victors, the conquerors' teachings, and this is referring to the teachings of the Buddhas. So there are 84,000 collections of the teachings of the Buddha, and here Jetson is saying that the essence he's going to summarize. And then this is actually already summarized in this very verse in the next 3 lines, which are talking about the renunciation, bodhicitta, and the correct view. And then this verse is also saying that Jetson Kappa will, to the best of his ability, in as little words as possible, will explain those 3 concepts.
Tatikan tanda jase tamban ji happy lam sanati jase sa jadwa. Ti jase de shangju samba sigures. Ti zambala ta ninjung shangsen yang tapi tawa tesumbuti ani jase shangju samba tasangya be taba chesa ngapa chesa ke ne chade yores.
Nenchung tanya.
Jase tamba na ji happy lam sa jase tamba sana shangju samba. Shangju samba tesoke ani ngapa chesa sarwa taba pyo ngapa chesa di ani ninjung shangju chesa yang tapi tawa san chade yores.
So then the second line in this verse reads, the path that is praised by the noble bodhisattvas. So bodhisattvas actually in Tibetan here, this is described as sons of the Buddha. So this is referring to bodhisattva, noble bodhisattvas. And then the path that is praised by those beings, this is again referring to those 3 principal aspects, renunciation, bodhicitta, and correct view.
Tati dela kadi tandu nanchi jungo de sede kawatan demba sede ane ngatsu kasa xedenge kowa tele ke pa taban denge ke ane tandu lo jula jewi na tangonso tabi ke lamna sambas kowa le pa trobi ke tabi lana samba tende chi chombi na tati ane kawatan demba kawata dembi kansa asa chi chagyor ngonso kowa tele pa troa ki ta langa no chilek yoro chesa kade tandu es kade tandu nanchi es ta kade tandu nanchi yungo de se sambala ta kawatan dembi ki duja ane taban doba tesunke ane pan rosa ki langa no chagyor es.
The third line of this verse reads, the entrance for all fortunate ones desiring liberation. So here, the fortunate ones, this is referring to the beings who, in their mind stream, they've already generated the wish to be free from samsara and to go towards liberation. So that's why we describe them, the fortunate ones desiring liberation. And this is linked to what I was talking about yesterday, right? With the samsara and liberation. And then the entrance to the path. So this is, entering that path of liberation.
Tante wala chetanuji daksha pashasta tagina jene ane tende ngenchung da xiangchu ji sen yang tabi tawa sonde ane tsik mambo mingwa tsik nyunyung ki nanglo la ane cha tsawang lo yapo chi xe tubi ki mbetsun chi ki yesan ta tipadala zomba tamcha de tendriya jis.
And then the last line, which reads, to the best of my ability, I shall now set forth. So it's saying that the 3 principal aspects, renunciation, bodhicitta, correct view, Ajit Tsongkhapa will strive to explain in as little words as possible. So up until now, this is promised to compose.
Tati jila kanda sipi dela machashi tanjo ten shashi tsambayi jawaji penla yi tepi kadin teda tangwe yi chi nyo sayade ane nedi nyemba kowa asadri nedi nyemba kowa asade ta nö dan demba se de ngin ju xiang ju ji se yang ta pi ta wa san de ma chu sun sa ke ta nö dan demba se de ka ba de dem bi de ya se le na chen su ani ya po nye xo o sa de
So then moving on to the next verse, I will read it out. You who are unattached to samsara's pleasures and strive to make full use of the freedoms and advantages. You who follow the path delighting all the Buddhas, fortunate ones, listen well with a clear and open mind. So this verse is urging those who are suitable vessels to listen to the teachings.
다소 데칼라 냠비 가서라 당은서 남지 드니 차게래 추 셰바다 추 냠바살로라 다추 냠비 가서라 나이 네지 존son 똥라 냐서 다야 제르무치 드리어 아나 칼로레 라산즈비 냠다 뎀바이 나이 네지 존son 똥라 냐사데 다추 녀산르지 담말라 셈바트선데 지포치 아니 기문선좀 제네 아니 야보니엔 그래서 디 가서라 다 정도 섬요래 대선데 파보네 아니 년 그래서 늘 손줘요래 견손 견손은 게 맞아요.
So when we are listening to the teachings, to the Dharma teachings, and Shijie Tsongkhapa in a different text, he gave advice on this very matter, and he said that we should listen to the Dharma teachings with a happy mind, we should listen to it well, and then we should abandon the three faults when we are listening.
다 전선의 카레라나 안에 네슬라고 네체스나 칼랄로사케 네슬와 네 안에 반복하잖아. 네 카보아다 붙여서. 아니 네 드마진다 붙여서. 네 샤도 다 붙여서. 샤도 와서 정말 에고 피션으로 달라지게. 또 배나서라. 그래서 네치지 아니 카본 샤위나 되나 칼라노 카렐로이나 디나라 용금하러 왔어. 다나 얘기 너 카야 가르쳐야되나야. 장마미야지 쪽반로지나 디나노라 칼라루샤나 양은 살고 말았어. 다야 너리 카야 가르요아치 장마요아치 이나야 올라 에고노 피리나 아니 디나라 칼라루지나 양마 살로 왔어. 오다 딜리기 답베 선향의 대다 되비게 양은서 주님비가서라 전선 용고요레스.
So what are those three faults of listening to the Dharma? So there's they speak of a container of first one being upside down, of the container being dirty, and then the last one a leaking container. So what this analogy is saying that, for example, if we have food, if we have our container which is upside down, then we won't be able to put any food inside it. It just won't go in. That's the first one. Then the second one, if we have a container which is dirty, then when we put our food inside, we won't be able to eat it, right? It will get dirty. And then the third one, even though our container is clean, still, if there are holes at the bottom of it, all our food will come out. So like that, those three analogies are talking about the faults which we should abandon when we listen to the teachings.
계산다 먼저 추 휴산로 추 년산로네 추 만년에 추천 안조 텔데요르데 만년아치네 sembaike 발레이니 데비나 네 카보아나 차기요레스.
So like that, if we go to a place to listen to the Dharma teachings, even though we are actually physically sitting there, but our mind is actually thinking of something else and not listening to the teachings well, then this is the fault of the upside down container.
다드네 추시산로네 아니 닝이 연아야 아니 꼴롱이야 보지 마고 지네 꼴롱데 주니에서 돈에 아니야 꼴롱 야보 캐는 건 가는 건 주 휴네 야보 해와 제네 아니 지만 소소 냠내제 아니 중나 산지 콤바타야 마요나 답이 콤바타야 아니 라나 이제 참만의 뱀비치들 주닝이요 삼이나 다디 꼴롱데 야보 차게 봐 다 근데 많이 받지네 다 아니 니 추디니 니 야보 힘 받지 아니 니 지마 메체텔라 아니 가서고래 깨단도 샤고 아니 니 체텔라 휴지 소고 단에 드리노 콜론 케비나 콜론데 네 테마진세데 네 나노라 스칼라 루요르데 테마나이 차 루요레스 테마진나이 차 루요레스
So then the second fault is when we are listening to the Dharma teachings at the place where the Dharma is being taught, but we do not have a good motivation. So a good motivation, what that would look like is we are listening to the teachings and then we want to listen to it well, so then we can practice it well for us to then in the future attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this is what we consider good motivation. However, if we're there listening to the teachings, thinking, I'm going to listen to the teachings, so in this life I can become famous or something along those lines, then this isn't a pure motivation. So this is what we call a dirty container, with the analogy that when we place food inside it, it will get dirty.
아야 다 somebody 다 아니 주니에산로 주야부 예요레스 콜롱 야부 케요레스 이내야 아니 대 셈라 야부 마샤와제네 아니 간서 조금 지지샤위나 지로이나 대대 다기 집안나 이게 느지나로라 네 야카레 카야세요레스 테나로 장마 요레 이내야 칼라루니 근데 마살로 하나 잘로요레스
And then the third fault is when we are listening to the teachings we have a good motivation, but we very quickly forget what we just heard. So this is the analogy of a leaky container where we put food, it goes in, right? But it very quickly just comes out on the ground.
Oh yeah. 제가 드리 잠말았다 덴디게 쩐선데 뽕빙고니 아니 먼저 추코 휴산로에는 추니비카스라 아니 쩐선다 타빙고니 아니 가이 쪼이 제네 아니 추니고요레스
가지 주시 감는?
아니 기포지 peaceful 가인 쪼이 상태세가 기포지 peaceful happily listen 제나도
So those three faults is what we have to let go of, what we have to abandon whenever we go to a place where the Dharma is taught and when we listen to the Dharma. So we should have good motivation and peaceful mind and listen well to the teachings.
Oh yeah, 다들 되는데 희쇼비나 가상원서 대시해봐. 안에 지부숨 사치해봐. 지부 중무, 지부링, 지부 챔보스. 지부숨지 안에 람지름 바스는 람린사의 지부숨지 람지름 바스의 강사 로란린 타마스의 강사기 상노동도 민다와 지흉관의 지부숨 시에와 어디디 잠발라 단데 틸랜도 간다 스피데라 마차지 단주대 자기 점바이 사디 조디 기분 링이야 제네 따송이야.
So yesterday I spoke about three types of individuals. So those of small, middling, and great capacity. So those three refer to the various stages of progressing on the path. And basically this talks about different ways of thinking of going through the path. So in this particular verse, the first two lines, I will read those again. You who are unattached to samsara's pleasures and strive to make full use of the freedoms and advantages. So this is in particular talking about the middling scope individual.
다 가르야서나 다 집을 충 간사도 속에 타바 토고요. 근데 산지 코마 토고 사 딘디상로 땅토기요 말이. 저와시마 사람이 공반지 토고나 상만 딘디지마도 요 말이. 딘디 잠발라 단단디 가설라 아니 간다 시피 데라 마차시서 데스방 코아키 데와라 마차바. 디 스방 코아키 데와라 마차니 마차나 아니 가르사네 타바 토고도 선비 탄도키로 제고에 소자 단디 기분 딩기 고대 수아디 딘디 차디오레스.
So why is that? It's because the middling scope individuals, they do not think about abandoning liberation, moving beyond liberation onto the level of Buddhahood. What they are concerned with is the next life and attaining the level of the rebirth of humans or gods. And therefore, when the verse speaks about being unattached to samsara's pleasures and striving to make full use of freedoms and advantages, so this unattached to samsara's pleasures, this is talking about the level of liberation, and this is the level that the middling scope individual aims for.
Oh yeah. 다 단조 대 샤시 점바이 사진도 다디 카토데 슈 점발라 땅문서 르덴데 베자 쳔버리스 다와지 야바 쭈사 드리자요 간다게 다와세나 칼로거스나 아니 무슨 추드하게 다와 추드하게 거게 매바 추드하게 랑콩 매바스 간다 뒤스맹에 뭐 대선들라 아니 다와 매바스래로 델리 도쇼 오버사이드 될라 아니 추드하라 뒤쳐야바 추드하게 든지야바 될라 아니 다와스라게.
And the second line reads, strive to make full use of the freedoms and advantages. So our human birth right now, this is very precious, and it's endowed with 8 freedoms and 10 advantages. So what are those freedoms? The opposite, so the not being free, what this is referring to is not having time, not having leisure to practice the Dharma. And the opposite of that is to have freedom, have time, leisure to practice the Dharma.
다 배나면서 가세해다 로아름 냐와 예다 튼로노 딘디차완렌디나 아니 디 추드하게 고급로다 추드하게 텐도 지요마르스 가사 추드사게 추년사요 말에 추지하게 고급로 춘요 마르스 제자말 데서데 모컴비네 예슬라 모컴바스나 추드하게 고급메바 추드하나 콤바메바게 네 예슬라.
So, for example, yesterday I spoke about the 3 lower realms, unfortunate disadvantaged migrations of hell beings, hungry ghosts, and the animals. So, in those states, there is no opportunity to practice Dharma because there is no opportunity to listen to the teachings, no place where the teachings are given. So those migrations, we call them the non-free states.
다데나 얘기 단 저바스나야 만솔 창고야게 만버지 용어 먼저 미르 타데 바서자 아니 소소라 창고야게 아니 미르 타디야바 미르 타바산지 메베바 만소게 왕보 창스라 안조게 공에 미 통에 상로다 연조 딘디임바 데마제베게 아니 산제기 추송네 산제기 추 된건서 단다 여힘바 임바 딘디 mambo yabatala jorba asla That is Chia Sabando in Tabaji, Japa just Mambo Hyo, Samando Marita, Japa said Susu Muni Tangu Viking Tunye, Tandiavatella, Jopa Aslager.
So.
Mm.
And then the advantages. So, generally speaking, there are 10 advantages. So, for example, when we've attained now this precious human body, not only that, we have all our faculties now intact, and that allows us to listen, for example, to the Dharma. And moreover, the Buddha also taught, and his teachings, Dharma teachings, still now remain. So those are some examples of our own individual advantages. Generally speaking, the 8 freedoms and 10 advantages, one can go into a lot of detail to explain, but just to think about it generally, the advantages is something that we have.
제가 드니 참말라 단단 건축 류된 탑대와티 네 단조 류된 배 야보지 더되게 요레스 드니게 류된데 배 마세페게 아니 탑갈에 가고 요레스 어딘데 송 요레스.
So now we have attained this human body, and this is why we call it the precious human body. This is one of the 8 freedoms and 10 advantages that we have. And generally speaking, this is something that is very hard to attain.
제가 뒤에 참말라 먼저 드니 류된 야보지 탑대 야바데 수수수수게 뭐히 바다 대 자체모임바 리단 체모임바데 인지민 시바체고레스.
So, because we have now attained this state of a precious human rebirth, precious human body, we definitely have to know this is what we have. We have to have that certainty.
다디갈 들란다 단조 되어 세리 딘딩한서 르딘 탑대와데 아니 르딘디 촐라스면도 와체니 르딘디 톨라 하는 것을 주 여보지 르트와이나 아니 단조된 촐라면도와 대여 바사디 자기 요레스 제작에 단조 되어 자시를 세리 단조데 된다 여봐 다 촐라 땅샤위나 된다 내가 차로 먼저 르딘 상보디 탑니 대 배줘야부 따마터베이나 아니 촐란도 요요레스 다 딘디 만도와지 제고레스.
So then, the verse then says to make full use, to strive to make full use of the freedoms and advantages. What this is talking about is not wasting our precious human rebirth. So we've now attained this body, and if we were now not to practice the Dharma, that would be wasting the opportunity, that rebirth. So we shouldn't do that. We should practice.
Oh yeah. 그래서 따따도 들란다 단조 대의 샤시 점바이세리 어느 곧 다와지 저바주 말이 단조 참이게 레데 톤도 단데 네 단다 여바치기스 아니 때 가르에서나 자와지베라라 이템바서니 자와지바서는 토바 산지 좀 된데라 소비게 산지 대송 투 지바잉이게 람데 민주 향생 양답이 따왔선들이 데라 아니 셈 제직도 대바 이 대베 이 담바 된디 가와데 덴비 되야 대송게 아니 셈 당위고네서데 셈베 가위고네 아니 야포냐혀 어선 어다 대송요레스.
So then we have attained this precious human rebirth, so we should now practice the Dharma. And why is that? And this is explained in the next line. You who follow the path delighting all the Buddhas. So the path here is referring to those 3 aspects, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the correct view. So we should have faith, generate faith in that path, and this is the path which all of the Buddhas take delight in and rejoice in it.
Oh yeah, that's part of any choice.
Up until here, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Please.
So thank you. Good morning. Lama son kapais Buddha lama ho akan Buddha or Lama? Is Buddha Tsongkhapa? Yeah. Buddha Tsongkhapa will teach all this, especially for monk or for public in general.
그래서
아니, 제천카파 공 상기에 양나 라마 re de isano tantan kare tampo dire ani your question is relating specifically for this text or in general how he taught
This text.
남수 공 드라파치푸라 남파르베 양나 미키아나요
다들 저데 남서 나서도 술 숨바래서나 디 타마텔 요리 안에 차오바 나온 타바싱이죠 디 호텔 타마타만들 요리 차오바 나온 타바사데 지르무치게 로마치 기투치 안에 콩딱 지르무치 수치 마모슈 아니 제라 아니 마 파제 카무쇼이나 사샤 잡아지라 아니 다 룸바티 나노라 다 취송사 데마 담바레스로죠 다데탄 안티 제라 아니 콩랑게 다 다른보 인선자 아니 코 라마서 티리 라마송카파 양지 제안도라 다른보들이 임바타 레디오레스 데리서 코야 페토기요 말 이네야다 코랑게 라마라 야 라마 템바타 아니 디칼라 아니 이 콩라 미세게야 주지 소로 제세네 아니다 바 이게는 뭐지 고인서로 왔다는 게 답되고 요마로와 다 콩라 미세게 콩라 대양주를 나는 손주들이 미만칼 손향들이 그 말에 차오방한 잡하게 야휴 이 샤디노 이게 되는 야 표에서로 아니 되게 랜데라 아니 람손나선데 공개 자선하는 마 나야 차도 요레스
아니 지와 단보디 제천카파 공 상기
뭐 될라시 아니 gel라
So to answer your second part of the question, right, to who this was taught. So this was actually taught to a disciple of Jetson-Kappa, and his name is Sako Wompung Awan Drakpa. You have his name in the file that I sent you at the very bottom in the column. So how this came about is Jetson-Kappa, he taught generally to many people, but in particular in this text, he had this one disciple, Tsakola. So he actually was staying away in the distance-wise away from Jetson-Kappa. But what he did is, because he was longing for his Lama, so he actually wrote a letter to Jetson-Kappa, right? It wasn't easy like we have today, right? They had to write letters, and in that letter he requested Jetson-Kappa for teaching. Then reply came back, a letter from Jetson-Kappa to that particular disciple, and in that letter was that particular text.
Is directed to this disciple.
Just to this disciple. It wasn't a public teaching.
다들 제종가바 간르레 라비나 다 로지페스 쉬위나 다 담보 공 투야디 당당서 저르부체 총사게 사자 벽에 암도 공범사 대라 총요레스 나나 저르부체 총사 사자 다녀고 될 총요레스 아니 다 중조임비가네 거 보기 힘받다면 당에 미시 Tendiores, 아니 디카돌라 암도 쇼텔라 라마 근데 카시지 댄스 다조데 공로 주루니 드니야 라사 쇼라 야 페네 아니 디카도 텔다 gelupasa yo mares 아니 조데 아니 가주다 사자 휴첨보요레스 때 잠말라 코란 라마 만쳐데 아니 가주다 사자 차데요레스
Yes. So now to answer your first part of the question, so a brief history of Jetson-Kappa. So Jetson-Kappa was born in the same area where His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama was born, and their place is called Ando Kumbun. Well, it's in exactly the same village, but very close by. And when Je Tsongkhapa was little, he was already recognized as someone special. He wasn't like other children. He was advised by lamas in Ando to actually go to Lhasa. So back then there was not yet Gelug tradition. There was Kagyu and Sakya traditions mainly. So all the lamas of Je Tsongkhapa were Kagyu and from Kagyu and Sakya lineages.
Nima he lama tostos yores.
Also a few Nima lamas.
Okay.
In the case that this text was directed for this disciple, how we can interpret for us what is our how can I understand this text, because only for understand this text is not directly for me, is how can I interpret this teaching, because this text was created only for one person. How can I get? How can I use it? How can I don't know how I ask this question, but you understand?
Medicine. Gana ki ani Je Tsongkhapa di logi di Tsasonga.
Samason.
Mutune. So first, Geshe-la hasn't yet finished talking about Je Tsongkhapa's history, so if you can finish that, and then we can answer this other question.
제가 다 콘트라서 lama Tsongkhapa 산제를 말했어. 담보테 말해. 제가 다 좀다 담보 아니 제가 라살라 tel라 로비존 제상에 고마 침보든지 요래 됐을라 팬에 아니 로비존 빼 마번나요. 제가 여러분 코라랑 순조 배셔나 담보 자지 티바 만도 짜서 공개 가르쳐 봐서는 담보 빼 라마 mam보사니 아니 거기 산지기 소제비 간주도 땡주도 주도서 빼 mam보 티바치바이스 아니 봐도 용루 탐지 담바샤스 다 튜바치니 디지라 삼네 빼 mam보 삼네 아니 산지기 주송이야 봐서 참데 당아서 샤와스 정말 산지 주송이 참 된다 하고네 아니 산지 주송이야 봐서 참아데 신제도선데 아니 타바도 탐진 준비 공방수 토바 토비치도 송이야 봐 하고와 중디 잠발라 아니 소레 탐지 당아도 샤와사데 용요 아니 드리체바 예스 근데 타만 인생권도 냠슬랑서 디 타만텔라 그 공개 인생권도 냠스 램바이스 아니 딘디게 담보 뒤바치 바도 아니 삼바치 타마텔라 냠네 제바듯이 참말로 아니 건자 템바지비 치던 거선 아니 산지지 템바지바다 신지 단지 내지 용이 치다 와치기 소요르티 아니 라마 장가바게 아니 그 다 남타 도듀치 자기 요레스
타마디디 냠수는 바르다.
담보 뒤바치 바드 삼바치 아니 타마텔라 인생권도 냠슬레 아니 대소 참말로 아니 공화야 버치 봐 예수.
When Je Tsongkhapa went to Lhasa, what he did there, he studied a lot with Kagyu, Sakya, and some Nima lamas. And there is actually a very concise biography of Je Tsongkhapa. It's summarized in 3 lines. So it says that at the beginning, he listened to many teachings. So this is referring to his studying time in Lhasa. In the middle, all teachings of the Buddha appeared as instructions. So this is saying that the essence of all the teachings for Je Tsongkhapa appeared as the way to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then in the end, all these instructions were put into practice. Yeah? So this is the most concise biography of Je Tsongkhapa.
다 단다 람소나스 소히비 깝슬라 Je Tsongkhapa 산제라서나 마리스 요레스 다이나 거 샹주 선바 사톰볼라 레창에 어디니 창요레스 다 로지셰비나 아니 바돌롱주 저바 주민고 초 무드니나 사와데 살라 지장간소이나 다 미마히니 저 디라 바도사 지투르와 다 콘나바케 아니 냠네 쇼체 저 아니 바도케 되달라 간소 바도 다가스 토라 콘소 바도 드레마이바 바도 미시치 트니 바도 드라오치 다 바도 마리 바도 찹노 데라 아니 주미코 사치 토요 데토네 아니 상예스레스 엔드네 소요레스.
So now addressing your teaching, your question, whether Tsongkhapa is a Buddha. So in the context of three principal aspects of the path, no, he's not a Buddha. However, Tsongkhapa at the end of his life, he attained Buddhahood. So Tsongkhapa, after during dying, so we as ordinary beings, we go through the bardo. However, beings like Tsongkhapa, during their process of dying, they attain this stage of Buddhahood. So this is how Tsongkhapa attained Buddhahood.
오케이. 다 디마도 디고 지보셔야 되는 건 차예요, 말이스.
So this is enough to summarize.
Thank you.
근데서 아니 김바 좋아.
You have one more question, yes? Sorry, I will translate your question about how you can relate to this. Yeah. Only chiwa tamadi kajesena ena ani kaisena Tsongkhapa kongi getruk tsapong na wajapa na chipu di supare. Chetsang na sodensang ani morang kandes ani nyamsulen di soso di
단데 데르와 카도 공기 야 휴야 인선사 디송르만도 디기 된다디 수기 냠네 지리나 다가라 용으로도 콘치볼라 란로야 든디케 요마레스.
So even though this teaching was given directly to Tsongkhapa's disciple, the instructions in it apply to all of us who want to practice.
Okay, any question? No.
I will ask it for something.
Okay. Yeah.
In Mahayana, renunciation, it doesn't mean to become monk or nun, right? So what does it mean in Mahayana?
Mahayana means I told you. Mahayana means if you this three vehicle, it is go to the.
No, this I know.
Yes.
What is renunciation in
Renunciation means no need the monks nuns. Okay. Renunciation is any if can practice anybody's. Renunciation means this hit the samsara.
Hit?
Hit the samsara.
Don't like?
Yes, don't like.
So,
Don't like because there's in samsara is always get the suffering.
Yeah.
Don't get the genuine happiness. So this if still there's always get problem, the suffering. So I don't like this samsara. This I need to go to the liberation. This is renunciation.
So
This-
if you,
This renunciation does not need the monks, nuns. Yeah. And so this, if you need to practice the compassion, and before we need to practice the renunciation. Renunciation, this is some suffering. You think about suffering only yourself. And the compassion, think about suffering of other beings. It's okay? 되게 최초 최다잖아. 제상게 인중기 삼바사데 이 No correct?
so if you want renunciation, you cannot think only about yourself and your
Yeah.
happiness. You have to think about others also. This is the path, if you path of Mahayana, right?
Yeah, 저저
Right, but
클라스.
konnichiwa. Tekstje na 내중
Ninjung ki samba.
내중기 삼바 인직 민직 chanchukisem di nanglo
Yorwesre, gorwesre.
gorbe.
No, tani mare. Tambo, manzu tipa chenbi yinsa na shangchu ji sem chegorwa. Shangchu ji sem chewala, tiyengwa la ninji chenbu chegoda. Chamba chenbu da ninji chenbu chegoya, manzu shoba gongyowa. Ninji chenbu da shamba chenbu sa, tisa di senje yengi tingdo la sana tango yor. Ani, ninjung ki samba sa di susu tingla sana tango yor. Chezange lama tsonga ba karsongo sena, ani, tambo soso tenla koa kotsun koa nona dunga ki natsu samne nginjung ki samba chene ani degi jela ani koa ki natsu dunga ki natsu tusu sinji yin kang papo na ani niji chebi jondo ures dandi songyor dandi zambala Mahayana practice chenge chu tikjengi chu chenge jene ya nginjung ki samba de yinji minjo kore lor.
So it isn't exactly like you're saying. So in order to generate bodhicitta, before to have that, we have to cultivate great compassion and great loving kindness. So this is what we've been meditating on in the morning meditation. And this is done for the benefit of others. And then, but before that, we have to generate renunciation, which is done for our own benefit. And so Jetson Kappa also said that first we need to think of the suffering that we have, the sufferings of samsara, of our own suffering of samsara, and through that we generate renunciation. And then we begin to think about others and their suffering, and through that we generate the mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta.
What you mean?
Sorry.
Compassion.
Compassion, sorry.
Ngode.
We want to.
It's okay?
So we first start from us.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
can-
first one, thinking about yourself. This is the suffering of yourself. Cheta tambo susu tendo kange donge this sam. This is the any kange donge this sam yapo chichane any digi sambate yenkang pa kapo slero yenkang pa samatang res. The tande any ninji chimche chagres.
So first we begin about thinking of our own suffering, and then we establish that thought well, and then that thought we then bring onto others, and through that we generate great compassion.
That's correct?
Respect at the renunciation to the samsara. For example, I am no nun, no monastery. I am simple person. Yeah. But in samsara, I found not everything is suffering. So I understand in the life for me, samsara is like normal. Yeah. Because it speak samsara and nirvana. But Buddha teaches samsara nirvana medium way. Medium way is no samsara, no nirvana. I don't understand. So for this, I create some confusion.
So the question is?
So my question is the renunciation. Why Geshe-la said renunciation to the samsara?
Because it doesn't all appear as
Because
suffering.
Mahayana is middle way.
That's all. Nechung di samlotangna di tampo di korwa sipa di nanola dunga chipo yomare tsansam depa yang yogi.
Okay, deal.
Indeed.
Okay, the nginju ki samba khandise chegiyore. Nginju samba khandise chegore de wale legiyorta. Ani nginju ki samba chelu cheta che guba junse. This is samade cheta ki ta trin tisegondo ani sani legiyores. Ani ta cheta kowa nana korashia na yege kadoina dunga mayemba jipono tes yores. Inaya te jipodi 양답이 집보다 문이 집보다 자기 요말에서 만족에 천왕을 되는 거지 내가 요레스
So now?
천마 I feel
Sorry. Yes. Okay, so detailed response to your question will come tomorrow because this is coming in the text about renunciation. So there's no time to go into detail for this, so tomorrow. But generally in samsara, yes, we feel like there's something more than suffering, that we experience a little bit of happiness, but this is not genuine, not real happiness. Yeah.
But also suffering is not real.
Suffering is real, okay? Okay. Genuine
Both are
suffering.
illusion.
Okay.
Happiness,
But
suffering is illusion.
happiness is not genuine happiness, okay?
No, she's
This-
saying it's illusion. The suffering
Yeah,
is
this
illusion.
okay. Then okay, this Singapore, no real Singapore. This argument, okay?
National level, ultimate level.
Yeah, all the conventional truth, it's okay. This is not said like that. Okay, suffering is suffering. There's suffering of change. This we some get their happiness. This is suffering of change. This three
Suffer,
types.
suffer, share, suffer.
Yeah, it's okay.
Forgotten in Russian.
Okay, this debate. Okay, tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, we need debate.
Okay, that today is finished. It's time. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Thank you.